One of my main goals for 2023 and the next few years in general is become a full-time video editor slash filmmaker. And over the past few years, I've learned a handful of tips that can help you speed up your editing process and make it easier in general. So in this video, I'm going to go over 5 tips to help you do exactly that. One thing I want to preface is that the editing software I currently use is Hitfilm Pro, but the tips I talk about in this video can still apply to you regardless of which one you use. And that actually ties into the first point of today's video, which is remembering that there's no such thing as a perfect editing software. Now, in terms of allowing you to do the basic stuff like cutting down footage, adding B-roll stuff, applying text, transitions, and color grading along with audio adjustments, the vast majority of editing software, both open source and subscription based, will most likely give you everything that you need. I would say in terms of selecting a specific one, it comes down to asking 2 questions. What kind of work am I going to be doing, and does the software I have let me do it? If it does, then you're good. If not, or you find yourself becoming limited after a certain point in terms of what you want to do, then that is when you should consider upgrading or changing to a different one. But again, just remember that the vast majority of them will most likely give you what you need. Moving on to tip number 2 of today's video is following a one-step process for editing your videos. Would you like to guess who tried cutting down footage, adding B-roll photos, and applying text all at once when he first started making YouTube videos in 2019? Me! Aside from just leaving me frustrated, this also put more pressure on my editing software, which, for those who don't know, means it's more likely to crash. So when you're editing a video, make sure you focus on cutting down the footage first before you move on to B-roll stuff, text, transitions, etc. Tip number 3 of today's video is making sure to save backup versions of your timeline. Depending on the software you use, there's a very good chance that in the event that it crashes, it's not going to save all of the work that you just got done doing. One way to prevent this, aside from just getting a better computer that can run your specific software, is by saving backup versions of your timeline either when you've completed a good portion of it or you're ready to move on to your next step in your specific editing process. And this can also help you in the event that you realize that you accidentally cut out something a long time ago that you actually now want to use. So you could just go back to a previous timeline rather than go to the original raw footage and scramble through it to try and find the clip. Now moving on to tip number 4 is learning your software's keyboard shortcuts. For me, the 2 main keyboard shortcuts I use in Hitfilm Pro the most are Control-Shift-D to make a cut and Alt-Delete to perform a ripple delete on a clip. Now, while it may not seem like a big difference from just using the blade tool and selecting the clip with the mouse, this actually saves you minutes on your editing process, and as the minutes add on, depending on how many projects you do, it's going to save you a lot of time. And the best part about keyboard shortcuts is that both Hitfilm and the majority of editing softwares will allow you to customize them to what best suits your needs. Now moving on to the 5th and final tip for helping to speed up and better your editing process is take breaks. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm the kind of person who, after about an hour of editing a project, I'll start to get bored and I'll just start jumping to different parts of it to try and wrap it up as fast as I can. The obvious problem with this is that I'm now more focused on just getting it done rather than making sure it's something I'm actually happy with. Depending on how long your project is, I would say after about 45 minutes to an hour is when you should take a break, and then you should come back once you're refreshed and you're able to once again concentrate. Because again, this is going to help make sure that you're actually happy with the video you're making, rather than just rushing through it to try and get it done. Now before I go, I want to thank you guys for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for future movie and video editing content, and let me know in the comments what your number 1 tip for video editing is. And until next time, my name is Nick Leland. Thank you for watching the video, and have a great day.